Everybody's favorite level of Halo.
Certainly mine.
The Covenant believe that what they call the silent
I love his little
Cartographer
zigzag.
is somewhere under this island. The Cartographer is a map room that will lead us to Halo's control center. The island has multiple structures and installations. One of them contains the map room.
We're approaching the LZ. It's gonna be hot. Get set to cut out quick.
Notable, you can't fire from the back of this Pelican.
Yeah. Which changes in later entries.
Yeah. So let's
Almost-
recap the story. By the way, welcome to
welcome.
this episode of Cooperative Conversations for Halo 1. We're still talking about it. We sure are. So let's
We're never
recap the
gonna
story
stop.
so far.
Yep.
We have crash landed. Even before we crash landed, we have evaded a Covenant patrol or attack of some kind. We don't know quite yet.
We know the ship made a blind jump,
Yes.
so we were trying to get away from something.
We have found by accident this giant copyright infringing structure, and it started as, well, I'm not really sure what our goal started as. We kind of just had to jump down here because the ship was dying.
Well, we were trying to band together once we landed on the ring, right? Go rescue
Yes.
Marines, organize a resistance, and we hung a big old lampshade on the fact that the story doesn't ever go into like how the Marines organize beyond gathering.
Yeah. But that's
from there.
So we started trying to just get people together. So we're not really down here for any reason, just because we had to. So now, in the last level, we've apparently discovered that the Covenant view this structure as a weapon.
Thanks
And-
to the insight on Captain Keyes, whom we had to rescue,
Yeah.
to prevent information from falling into the hands of the Covenant, right? Which, by the
Yes.
way, is the reason the Chief ejected from the Autumn in the first place. To take the
Yes.
AI with him and keep it out of the hands of the Covenant.
We cannot let the Covenant learn the location of Earth. It would be unimaginably bad if the Covenant ever came to Earth, ever knew how to get there, or even that it existed.
Oh no, the captain of our ship was captured. We have to go get him.
Okay, let's move out.
So,
Go find the
we
map.
rescue
So after
him.
that-
Here's the location
yeah, we
of the
rescue
control
him.
center.
We learn that apparently the Covenant view this as a deeply religious weapon of some kind. And we have decided, Keyes decided, that this means they're planning to use it to wipe out the human race. Sure, we'll go along with that. Now we're trying to race them to the control room.
I mean, if it's a weapon, it's a fair thing to want to beat the Covenant to the control room.
Certainly.
The assumptions about its capabilities are a little eyebrow-raising, but it's forgivable, considering how outmatched humanity are implied to be. Which is kind of hilarious, because we just dab all over these Covenant throughout the whole game.
Yeah. 30 years of an off-screen war can't stand up to 2 player characters.
Well, it's interesting because the Master Chef Excellence here is implied to be special among the ranks of the UNSC. You've got the manual with you, right? Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I do. I don't think I should read and drive.
No, reading and driving can be very bad for your health.
And yours. I think we might have to call this one a wash.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, I think you got it. Turns on a dime.
Oh
Whistle
well.
stick.
We never claimed to
But
be
yeah.
good at video games. Just
No.
talkative.
So hey, you've got the manual.
I do.
Do you want me to take the driver's seat for a moment while you
Sure.
So
what
what
would you...
does the manual say about the Master Chief?
The Master Chief. Section... whatever, page 7. Fighting the enemy. You are the Master Chief, all that remains of a classified military project to build a series of genetically enhanced super soldiers. You are humanity's last and best hope against the Covenant, but you're woefully outmatched and survival is not guaranteed. Human soldiers have used performance-enhancing equipment for hundreds of years, and your Mjolnir battlesuit represents the current pinnacle of military technology. As a product of the Spartan 2 project, where you were bioengineered and technologically enhanced for better reflexes, eyesight, and coordination, the addition of your Mjolnir armor makes you nearly invincible. The battlesuit utilizes a neural interface implanted in your brain. Your armor's movements and weapons are controlled at the speed of your thoughts. The battlesuit also contains a layer of crystal that forms a network capable of supporting Starship-grade AI, so you can overpower alien computer systems if necessary. The suit's shell is comprised of many layers of strong alloy and a refractive coating to disperse energy weapon hits. Internally, the suit regulates temperature and can reactively change in density as necessary.
Now see, that's a lot of information, right? And I'm actually surprised that there's that much information about the Mr. Chef in the manual.
Yeah, it's pretty handy.
Yeah, no, it is, and it's actually a nice summary of the Spartans and what they are, and it actually, you know, it pretty accurately reflects what they go on to become as the series progresses. But yeah, it's like humanity is supposedly hopelessly outmatched, but then they can create something like the Mr. Chef, who is literally a one-man army, right? Like, look at this. This is ridiculous. We're unstoppable. Of course, we're playing cooperative, so there's 2 of us. But you know, you could beat this game solo. It's
I
not
have.
that hard. Yeah.
A couple times.
So many people did. And the point I'm getting at is that it's kind of hilarious that, like, we're getting back on, like, Bungie about it conveying information in a story. Because, yeah, supposedly we're hopelessly outmatched, and yet we dunk on people. Also, we are this super cool super soldier, super cyborg, right?
The Covenant are putting up a
That's
real fight.
implied, but
The
never really
Cartographer must
stated.
Yeah, not a lot
Bathroom
of...
should be at the bottom floor of this
Again, not a lot of people really
Let's
talking
keep
to
going
us.
inside.
Like, Cortana tells us what we're about to do sometimes, but there's not really much of a rapport between the 2 of them.
No.
Which is hilarious, considering the directions the series takes.
And it's also interesting because that manual entry goes into a lot of detail about the Spartan program, and we learned that, you know, Spartan 2s, like the Master Chef here,
Don't let them
are
lock the doors.
they're pretty special, they're pretty rare. And to that end, I believe that they even the lore actually changed going forward, because
Underestimated the
I'm
Covenant's
pretty sure there's a line
understanding of
somewhere.
Halo's
It's on like a
subsystems.
loading
They've
screen or
locked the
something like
doors,
that,
and we don't have enough firepower to get
where it
through them.
refers to the
Cortana to
Master
Key.
Chief very explicitly as a
Go
cyborg.
ahead, Cortana.
Mm-hmm.
Have you found the control center?
Well,
Not really the case.
the
Forward.
enemies, the
Covenant has
grunts,
impeded our progress. We can't
will
proceed
be
unless
like,
we can
oh no,
disable
the
this information
cyborg.
security system.
Yeah. Right?
Understood.
And
We're still en route to the objective. I may be out of contact when we get there.
sorry, there's plot
Here
happening.
are your orders. I want you to use any means necessary to force your way into the facility and find Halo's control center. We have to get to the center before the Covenant. And failure, people, is not an option.
Echo 419
So a nice
ground
reiteration
team.
of what we're
I'll
doing.
stay on station
Yeah.
and keep an eye out for Covenant forces.
But yeah, we're trying to find a map so we can find the control room. The Covenant are here doing the same thing.
Everybody's topside.
Um,
Secure, sir. Nothing moving.
But yeah, the Master Chef is implied to be a cyborg,
Keys out.
like a full-blown
security
like
override to get this door
man-machine
open.
marriage, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as the series progresses, that's less the case.
Very much
Like
less.
Spartan 2s are certainly enhanced, but they're not like you see them without their helmets, right? They look like just regular people.
Mhm.
Obviously, you know, not in any of the mainline games except for the last one. But it's something I want to bring up because also there's the E3 demo that they showed off and the voice that they
Yes.
had for the Master Chief originally. Hey, roll that clip, reckon.
Recon reporting. Hostiles have been neutralized.
Say again? Over.
The drop zone is clear. I repeat, the drop zone is clear.
Boy, that's embarrassing.
Yeah, that's real different sounding from what we got in the end.
There is a path into the
So,
interior of the island.
hey, remember when I mentioned that Bungie right by the seat of their pants?
I do remember that. I'm reminded of it every time I play
Yeah.
this game.
And I also mentioned that this game had, you know, troubled and rushed development. Bungie changed a lot of things as the game was being made.
You don't say. Could
And
it
that
be that
is...
some of their troubles were perhaps self-inflicted?
Yes, absolutely. And
Oh,
guess
no.
what? Bungie changing things as the series is being made is something that is not going away anytime soon.
Nope. I need that pistol. Where's my pistol?
Yeah. It's just in front of me, isn't it? No. Might be over
I think
by here.
your grenade killed me.
I might have. Yeah, I think my grenade killed you. I might have also picked up your pistol by accident.
Oh, you're on hunter killing duty.
I'm on hunter killing duty. I am the hunter killer. What about over here? Here's your body.
Yeah, well, my body got blown by a grenade again.
Yeah.
So, I think you probably picked it up for the ammo.
Oh, well, it'll be a good chance for you to step back and watch to just show how laughably easy it is to eliminate hunters. He stares.
Well, we've already fought 6 of them.
Shadowingly. Yeah. And we didn't have a pistol those times, so...
We had a sniper rifle, which is as effective.
About as effective, not nearly. Look, we're in for a treat. Unfortunately, it's not something they kept going forward, which is a little disappointing. Ooh, clobbered him.
Yeah. Alright, hold on.
I think there's a pistol up on the ridge here, by the way.
Oh, there might be. Hold on, why don't you go ahead and do what you can against those large fellows, and I'll take a look at something here.
Alrighty. What, you don't want to see me eliminate them with a single shot?
Oh, I'm watching.
Okay. Oh, hang on, I hit the armor. Ah. See, I'm not very accurate, ladies and gentlemen. There we go.
Should also mention that we debated playing on heroic because of the way co-op works in the Master Chief Collection. Skelzer is under some not insignificant input lag.
Yeah, the netcode, unfortunately, is somewhat lacking, but thankfully it's tolerable for me. For others, it might be a bit of a deal breaker.
Yeah, when we move to Halo 2, we're definitely playing on normal, just because heroic is legendary on any other game.
Oh yes, absolutely. Halo 2, again, we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but Halo 2 is absolutely the most difficult game in the series. And there's a number of reasons for that we'll get into when we play that game.
Yeah, we got time.
We got time. Meanwhile, on the quiet mapmaker.
So, as you can see, we've already kind of exhausted a lot of the options as far as encounters. We're fighting red elites and blue elites and grunts and jackals, and they've only got 3 weapons to work with. Sometimes 2 hunters are there. That's, well, that's Halo 1.
But here's the thing about that. The game still has a few tricks up its sleeve.
It does.
Now, I want to emphasize the word few, because there's like 2 more tricks they're going to pull on us as we go forward. And then we are going to hit the point where they had to crunch.
Yeah.
And you're gonna hear a lot of very passionate opinions about video games when we hit that point.
Sure will. So let's head into another Forerunner structure full of featureless right angles. You
Well,
still
hey,
have that
there's-
pistol handy, right?
Yeah.
Hey, look,
Well, hey,
more hunters.
More hunters.
Yeah,
Oh, that one.
they're, oops.
Uh-oh.
Here, I'll try to get his
Hey.
attention.
Yeah.
Get over here. Come play with me instead. No.
Keep
No.
him in the armor.
There you go.
There we go.
Let's take a look at these guys. We really haven't yet. They've got fuel rod gun, they've got blue armor, they've got a shield, you got spikes. They're very 90s.
Hey, we get to go back to my favorite thing, reckon?
Oh yeah?
In the supplemental material.
Oh, I
These
love
guys-
this.
Yeah, these guys are described as being basically colonies of sentient worms that bundle together and form these giant superorganisms.
Oh, like the many from System Shock 2?
Actually, very similar. There's similar sort of color to them and all of that.
Huh.
You know, that's an interesting fact about their biology, and it explains why they're so tough and so hard to kill. Normally,
Oh no. What was that?
I have a pistol.
Oh, okay.
I don't,
Well,
but
technical difficulties.
bit of a net hiccup. But anyway,
Stay safe in there.
Yeah.
You and your copper cables.
Australian internet's terrible. But anyway, giant worms. These guys are made of giant worms. I believe the Halo 1 manual might actually mention that. Take a look at it.
Let's take a look. Noise of me flipping open the manual. Let's see. Weapons. Pillar of Autumn and its crew. The Covenant. The Hunters. Hunters stand 12 feet tall, though in their combat state they contract to approximately 8 feet. What the fuck does that mean? Hunters fight with a fuel rod gun integrated directly into their armor. They carry an enormous, nearly impervious metal shield made of an unknown alloy, which they sometimes use as a melee weapon. That's it.
Oh, see, they didn't even mention it in the manual for the first game.
Do you think Bungie knew that they were worm clusters in the first game?
No, actually, I think that's retroactive writing again.
Cool.
Well, there you go. Hey, we learned something new about the game franchise. But yeah, that's the thing. In the supplemental material, there's this really interesting thing about that enemy that you encounter a lot in this game that is never communicated to the player in
Use the
game.
hollow
So
pad
whether
to
it was
shut
always
down
the plan,
security system.
this will open the door to the map room.
Well, hopefully. You might have seen us throwing grenades at this door. Unfortunately, we didn't
should
kill
open the
that
door
guy.
That leads into the main shaft.
Yeah. So there are some ways to take him out that are actually pretty funny. Like ahead of time, you can eliminate him. But you know, we'll do the intended thing. We'll go fight him.
Yeah.
Mayday! Mayday! Dropship Bravo 22 taking enemy fire! Repeat, we are under heavy fire and are losing altitude! Understood. We're on our way.
So that's the excuse for why our support is now nil.
Yeah.
So again, they try to justify things within the narrative, but only to really sort of justify why you're doing what you're doing currently, not, you know, anything else about what's going on. And that's the point I'm getting at. There's all this cool information out there that is just never impressed upon you at any point.
Yeah, and that's
yeah.
absolutely a failure of Bungie's.
Mm-hmm.
That I feel like not enough people hold them accountable
Chief,
for, because...
Bravo 22 was bringing us some heavy weapons. After I saw we were up against hunters, I thought you could use them.
Thanks, Cortana.
Let's move down the beach. Keep an eye out for any...
So
cargo
that-
salvage.
My dear viewer, is a narrative contrivance because of the diegetic item placement.
Which,
They
you know,
literally contrived a way to drop rocket launchers on our head because otherwise it would not make sense.
Yeah. Heck, what was I saying?
Holding Bungie accountable for their
Right.
failure to communicate information.
A lot of the conversations you'll find online about Halo are like, man, I love the part where this character did that, and it's like, that didn't happen. Oh, it's from a book. People... From my infrequent trawling of the Halo subreddit, as I've tried to keep tabs on the development of the Master Chief Collection for PC, I've discovered that people talk a lot more about books and comics and animated short films than they do the games. But if you dare suggest that the games are lacking in story, you will be jumped upon. And I don't think people realize that they're being tricked.
Yeah, it's... I mean, Halo is also... Now we get to get into some... This is more subjective sort of stuff. Please, dear viewer, I'm not speaking with any kind of authority, right? But now we get to get into something that does have a somewhat real thing that you can acknowledge about it, and that is that Halo is somewhat responsible for... the best way to describe it is like fanboyism. Like console and platform fanboys weren't really particularly rabid or vicious, to my knowledge, until after like Halo and the Xbox landed, right?
I couldn't speak to that again. Not a console person.
No, but I don't know. Online discussions, especially when it comes to like Halo and the Xbox, are particularly vicious. Fans really like to defend this franchise and Microsoft. And you know what?
Do.
They're passionate. They like this stuff. That's fine. But, you know, they kind of excuse a lot of the issues with the series.
They excuse so much that should not be excused and is not in any other franchise.
They
Also,
will
look,
tear
one of the-
apart. They will tear apart other video games for doing the same things that Halo does.
Uh-oh.
It's okay. I got him suppressed. You'll be fine. This is
I am
fine.
fine. But as you can see, we've fought more hunters yet again.
In the same location we were just at.
Yeah. How'd they get here?
I guess they were dropped off by a dropship that we didn't see. It was on the other side of the island, after all.
Oh, yeah. Maybe one day we'll get an answer to these questions. I doubt it'll be today.
Supplemental material.
Yeah, oh, hey, where'd that yellow guy go? Oh, well. I'm sure it's
Suppose-
nothing.
No, yeah. I wouldn't worry about
now
it.
we can hit an optional cutscene.
The only one in the game, as far as I know.
Yeah.
So we are told that this is where the map room is.
We are.
Why does a map maker need a shaft so damn big?
Well, for all the topography.
Right. Hey, if you're a cartographer, leave a comment explaining why your map making facilities need to be so vast and cavernous.
So, look at this. This is the first time in this game so far that we have seen an enemy interacting with an environmental object. Something I'll remind you that Unreal had in spades. And what's weird about Halo is that Cortana said that this ring is an item of religious significance to these alien folks in the Covenant. Shouldn't we see them, like, praying to some of these artifacts, treating them as if they're like, reverent towards them?
By the Omni Sire, this machine spirit stirs, etc.
Well, I just even mean, like, this seems like a weird thing. They have to know that this is the map room. What if instead of sleeping, these grunts were, like, you know, bowing down and, you know, offering...
Well, I have a potential answer for you, reckon. The line where Cortana says that this ring is of religious significance was added late into the development cycle.
And do you think they used that as an overcorrective springboard for the next game?
Well, it's certainly possible, considering the content of the story they're in.
I like Halo 2. Oh
Halo
no,
2...
I spoiled it. I think Halo 2 is very good.
Yeah, Halo 2 is a pretty good game.
But
it has issues. It
my
definitely
God,
has
issues. It has issues, and so does Forerunner architecture. Look at this. Sure, you got some wall designs, but like, what the fuck is this?
You did mention, by the way, that like the port issues aren't really going to come up, but we'll quickly touch upon like, yeah, the shields don't change color. Bump mapping doesn't show up unless you're using a flashlight.
Yeah,
that's actually a legit like issue. I believe
does...
the bump mapping thing applied to the console game as well, though.
Well, in the Master Chief Collection, it uses the PC port as a base.
Yeah.
Hey, look, more hunters. Were you tired of them?
So, you know, there's the whole bump mapping thing to sort of like make the flat grey walls more interesting than they really are, but they're still flat walls, you know, like...
Yeah, there's not a lot here, and there's still no context. We love using that word, and it's because it's a good word.
We don't use it for no reason. A lot of the best games provide context for why you're doing what you're doing. Some of the most beloved games, even.
Yep. Ouch.
I mean, there are plenty of good games that don't provide context for what you're doing.
I mean, like,
but
Doom sure doesn't a lot of the times. But, again, like, Halo is fun, Doom is fun, but Doom isn't trying to present itself as, like, a serious story for serious gamers.
Yeah.
Halo is. Halo's making an attempt to ride off the coattails of what Half-Life did and create this unbroken first-person narrative, except it has third-person cutscenes half the time. Don't worry about it. And as a result, it begs for more context. What is this room? Can Cortana pull something from the Covenant BattleNet and tell us, like, oh, this is a, you know, geopositioning signal collection station. Maybe this thing's a globe? I don't know. I don't know what any of this is. And it's not a mystery because we never get it answered.
And to be fair, there are plenty of people that just wouldn't be bothered by that. But if it doesn't bother you, well then more power to you, right? We are making this series for the people that, you know, either don't realize or are bothered by these things, so they can commiserate with us, or, you know, the discussion can help them contextualize their own thoughts, or, you know, we just, you know, we don't have lofty goals here. We're just pointing this stuff out because we enjoy the series, and we feel like these questions deserve to be asked, even if other people have asked them before, you know?
Yeah, and I'm certainly not out here trying to turn anyone away from the series. Like, if you like this game, great. It's good to like things. Liking things is okay.
Please acknowledge the flaws in the things you like, though.
Yes.
Definitely
believe me, you will get much better at liking things if you can properly criticize them.
Oh, yes.
Unreal Tournament 2004 is my favorite game in the world. It has problems.
What game doesn't? But yeah, that's the thing. When you can examine the things that you like, and you can pick apart the things about them that don't work, right? Not only can you, as a person who might be involved in creative endeavors, or just a person who likes to consume media, evolve and improve and enjoy those things better. But if you ask these questions of the people that create these things, and they ask themselves those questions, they can improve as well.
And also, it will let you appreciate the good parts of it more because you have something to compare it to. You can realize what doesn't work and then be like, oh, but this works because of this reason, and it just... You're suddenly interacting more with the thing.
If people didn't ask questions like this, the medium would not evolve, right?
And we want it to.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're criticizing a 20-year-old game, but
you know, there's much that can still be learned. There are plenty of people out there who are making their first FPS game, right? And they're like, I'm a fan of Halo. I want to make my own FPS game. Well, you know, check these videos out. We got some stuff to say. You might learn something, and it might improve, you know, what you're doing. Or maybe you're just watching this because you need something on where you have your breakfast this morning.
Hey,
or while
that's
you're doing
fine.
your workout. Yeah. No.
And you know what?
That
Even
follow-up
if
would activate
you
the
just
map.
want to yell at us for not getting Halo,
Go ahead.
go ahead,
real.
but maybe consider not, because we're still playing it, we're still enjoying it.
Yeah. Like,
It's just it has flaws.
speaking of flaws,
Analyzing. Halo's control center is located there. That structure appears to be some sort of temple or shrine, if I've interpreted this correctly. Interesting. A shrine is an unlikely place to put such a significant installation.
Cortana to Captain Keys.
so that's some flawed logic that she's working on there.
Yeah. Oh no, plot.
Keep trying. Let me know when you've re-established contact, and then tell him that the Master Chief and I have determined the location of the control center. We'll be heading there as soon as we're topside. Affirmative. Full hammer out.
Oh, well...
So we just rescued Keys last mission. Now we can't get in contact with them again. And
Remember...
we've decided that we're just gonna go to the control room for some reason.
Well, remember, Cole Protocol is black and white, ink on paper. The capture of any AI or personnel that can result in the information leading to the location of Earth, or anything about the defensive composition and capability of the human fleet, is to be avoided at all possible costs.
Yes.
Going so far as to crash a spaceship into an unknown foreign structure to make sure that the Covenant cannot get their hands on the data they're in. We're going to give the AI to a fucking super soldier to make sure that the Covenant can't get their hands on the AI and crack it open.
Yup.
What's that, Keys? You've gone missing again? And you're probably captured by the Covenant again? And they're probably pumping you for information about the location of Earth and the capabilities of the human fleet? Again, this game was written as they were making it, and we're hitting the point where it's abundantly clear.
Yeah. There's a lot of "and then this happens" coming up.
And you know what? And then this happens is not necessarily inherently a bad way to write. But here's the thing. If you're gonna do "and then this happens," you can't repeat yourself, and it's gotta be interesting.
Bad news.
Bad news, kids. How the hell do we get out of here?
There's a ladder that I didn't climb properly. This...
I think it's back this way, hold on. Alright. Alright. If only we had some sort of indication to let us know.
Some sort of AI that can put real-time nav markers on our suit's HUD.
Nah, that's absurd. What are you talking about?
That's some science fiction bullshit right there.
Yeah. Go down and around. There you
Yeah.
go. You got it.
It's just also, like, we were at a map room, right? And
Yep.
presumably one of those pins did show us where the control room is.
Yep.
But we don't know where it is in relation to us. We don't have any information about that location going forward.
We know that it's a location, and you know, we're getting ahead of ourselves. But again, they will imply like distance and relation, but they won't actually show it or communicate it because, again, game was literally being put together at the last second, right? Like, okay, so if you've ever had like a school assignment that you literally like, you did some of the work, you know, but then the deadline was coming up and you literally slapped it together the night before, right? That's Halo 1. Halo 1 is that school assignment, right? Bungie had some cool ideas and they put in the work initially, and then the deadline hit them at the last second and they had to just scramble to assemble it.
Yeah.
So that's another good like sort of analogy to sort of help you wrap your head around why we're dragging certain aspects of this game.
Because they deserve it.
And like I reiterate the like the nature of the beast, because you know, we're dragging it, but we do know that the game was rushed out the door. Like, we're not ignorant of that fact. It's just that, yeah.
Yeah.
You
You have to be aware of what doesn't work.
Oh, hey, it's this guy. He was here after all. Oh, farewell.
Oh, I think I killed you.
You did, indeed.
I got him too.
Excellent. You did. It was worth it.
There you are.
You killed the only other prototype cyborg.
That's fine. There were 2 cryo chambers on the Pillar of Autumn. That other one was shuttered up tight. Who knows what was in there?
Oh, see? Here's that diegetic enemy placement that they love. Also, so hey, we talk about Bungie borrowing from things. Have we mentioned Predator yet?
Well, I think that's just a given.
Well, hey, you know what? This is the perfect opportunity. Let's take a closer look at these elite faces, because I don't think we've done that yet, right?
We haven't.
So their armor is, you know, they're again aliens. It's very xenomorph with the big elongated head, right?
Yeah.
But if you look closely at their faces, they have mandibles.
Yeah.
That split open. It's actually pretty hard to see when they're down on the ground like this.
Well, they have the 4 jaw segments.
Yes.
Still not sure how they're supposed to eat anything.
Or speak.
Yeah. Well, speaking... Sure. It's more about, like... I don't know. I don't know anything about how these guys are supposed to work.
But that's the thing. So you got the look of the alien with the sleek, smooth, elongated, you know, bug-like carapace. But then, yeah, they got a face with 4 split mandibles, and they turn invisible.
Some of them.
Some of them. But, you know, it's... Bungie are big sci-fi nerds, and it shows. But also, a lot of their, like, really cool ideas are kind of just, like, directly lifted from other things.
Well, I mean, you know, we had the Jackals as the mercenaries from Unreal, but really, with the things the elites do, or what they try to do, they're a lot more like the Scar, you know, they dodge around. They're not as smart as the Scar. They don't call for reinforcements or play dead or know when to back off when they're hurt. But
they kind of lay ambushes, not really in this game.
Yeah. It's, yeah.
Oh, I just noticed what's going on with his jaw. Look at that. When he goes limp, we're seeing the jaw that's right, and it's poking up and through.
Yeah, there's some weird mesh
Yeah.
nonsense going on.
Well, you wanna talk about weird mesh nonsense? Wait until we get to the remastered stuff later.
Well, that about does it for this one. We have silenced a cartographer. We're gonna go assault a control room. So,
Yep.
yeah.
Well, before we sign off, we actually, the following cutscene, we have our very interesting justification for the transition from this area to the next. So,
Oh,
let's
right,
hop on,
we didn't even
Yeah.
comment about where we
Nope.
fought the hunters the first time. Oh well.
Let's get moving. Bowhammer, here are coordinates and a flight
Honestly,
plan.
I've played through this so much for notes that it just kind of passed
Yeah,
right by
bleed
me.
together.
The Covenant did a thorough seismic scan, and my analysis shows that Halo is honeycombed with deep tunnels, which circle the whole ring.
I hope your analysis is on the money, Cortana. This Pelican won't turn on a dime.
That's literally what it
Look
does.
on the bright side, Bowhammer. The last thing the Covenant
All right,
will
people.
expect is an aerial
Thank you
insertion
for listening to our
under
ramblings.
ground.
Yes, thank you very much. Now we're
See you in the next
going down here. How'd that open?
I don't know. Cortana, I guess. Wi-Fi. Goodbye.
See you later.